Part B of question 1 reads as follows. In the context of mortgage-backed securities, MBS, explain 5 factors that affect prepayments and the types of prepayment risks. Now, the 5 factors that affect prepayments include the following. So part B, saying the first factor that affects prepayments is the current mortgage rate. If you're saying that the prevailing mortgage rates are slightly higher than the rate at which you had taken up the mortgage, then it does not provide that incentive to refinance. You cannot be able to actually make prepayments because the prevailing mortgage rates are much higher as compared to the rate at which you had taken out the mortgage. So we can be able to probably provide a brief statement over here in that if the current mortgage rates are, let's start with low. This provides an incentive to refinance. Incentive to refinance the mortgage rates, to refinance the mortgage, because at low rates mortgagees are enticed to prepay and finish off the payments of mortgages. The contrary view also holds. If you are saying that the current mortgage rates are high, it does not provide that incentive to refinance a mortgage rate right over there. You can say the vice versa, the contrary opinion holds. The contrary opinion holds as well. Contrary opinion is when current mortgage rates are actually high. Now, the second point, we can say that this is the first point right over there. The second point over here, we can say, is the housing turnover. Housing turnover. The housing turnover is just the rate at which houses are actually being built and actually being sold off. That housing turnover is affected or is influenced by the performance of the economy. So we can say that the housing turnover, the link is as follows. An increase, an improvement in economic conditions, leads to results in an increase. In personal income, which leads to opportunities for worker migration, personal income, which leads to an opportunity for worker migration as a result of improved economic conditions. Worker migration, now we are saying it will increase the family mobility, which in turn leads to worker mobility that leads to increase in housing turnover. Increase in housing turnover, like that. So the ability of houses to be exchanged very fast or to be sold off very fast is has a link based on the performance on the economy. So if the performance improves, if the economic conditions improve, then you expect personal income to increase. And once personal income increases, it leads to an opportunity for worker migration. The worker migration leads to increase in worker mobility that leads to increase in demand for housing there. So that's how the housing turnover leads. The economic conditions or the movements in the economic conditions leads to housing turnover or increase in housing turnover. The third point is as follows: seasoning. We can say it refers to the aging of mortgage loans. You can say that prepayments tend to be low at origination. So we say prepayments tend to be low at origination as compared to seasoning, to the point as compared to the point where the mortgages are being seasoned. Are about to be seasoned. So this is the way it looks like. At some point over here, you find that prepayment rates tend to be very low. Why? Because this is the point where you've just begun actually preparing for the mortgage rates, for the mortgage itself. So what happens is that there is no incentive to refinance the mortgage at that point over here. But as individuals tend to move towards the mortgage being seasoned out or being paid off in full, at this point right over here, when individuals see that they've probably got 3 years towards finishing paying off the mortgage, then they find it very good for them to actually refinance, or they find that incentive to refinance to be highly increased right there. So that's what you're seeing is the issue about seasoning there. So we're also saying that number 4, we can be able to say political interferences, or what we can be able to call term as the political stability. Stability is another factor. If the political state in any economy is unstable, then it means that the incentive to refinance, because you're looking at the factors that affect prepayments. Political instability is also a very critical factor. If it's very unstable, then you'll not expect individuals to actually uptake or even prepay mortgages there. So we can say the political state of any country affects prepayments in that an unstable economy, an unstable country rather, an unstable country, not economy, an unstable country may not promote, move on this side here, the incentive to refinance, may not promote incentive to refinance, the incentive to refinance. Now that is political stability. Number 5, we are saying number 5 is the legal and regulatory environment and regulatory environment. If the legal and regulatory environment does not promote any incentive to refinance, or their applicable laws relating to real estate is not very favorable, or does not create an enabling environment for people to uptake mortgages, then we would say that may deter individuals from either refinancing or even taking up mortgages there. So the legal and regulatory environment that affects uptake of mortgages may either deter or increase appetite for mortgages, affecting the incentive to refinance. So those are the 5 factors that we can say affect the prepayment behavior within any country. There are other factors over here, the technological factors. We also have the ecological factors amongst other factors. But they asked us for 5 of them. Those are the 5 factors that affect prepayments. Now, in the second part of the question, they were asking the types of prepayment risk. We can be able to come over here and say the types. In a new paragraph, we can say the types of prepayment risks. Right there. Number 1, we have contraction risk. We are saying that contraction risk is the risk that prevailing mortgage rates have decreased, resulting in an incentive to refinance, prepay the mortgage. So we are saying that this is what we have, the contraction risk. If prevailing mortgage rates decline like that, it will promote those individuals who have actually taken up the mortgage are enticed to prepay, shortening the investment horizon. So an individual took a mortgage at time zero, and maybe say the maturity is maybe say, for example, 360 months there, but if prevailing mortgage rates somewhere decline in midway as the individual is prepaying or refinancing or paying up the mortgage, what happens is that this shortening or an individual will be enticed to prepay much more so that they can be able to clear off paying that mortgage at a faster within a shortest time possible there. So you find instead of 360 months, you find 270, just for example like that. So that shortening of or that prepayment on a month-on-month basis results in contraction risk. So the risk, this is the risk that as far as the institution that is issuing out the mortgages, they'll suffer from this kind of loss. They'll not be able to get the interest rates that they actually had budgeted for as of the 360 months. What maybe say a company like HFCK or the savings and loan company can be able to do, they can be able to try, and once they receive the prepayments up to that point over here, and those individuals who have taken up the mortgages actually prepay, they can be able to try and identify a fixed income security that has got that duration of an average duration of probably maybe the difference between 270 and 360 months there. So that that duration over there is what can be that fixed income security is the one that provides that steady income stream for that duration right over there. That is what you're saying is the first type of prepayment risk. Yeah. There is contraction risk and there is extension risk. Number 2, extension risk. Now it is the opposite of contraction risk. We are saying is the risk that prevailing mortgage rates increase, resulting pardon me, in an incentive to refinance not an incentive to refinance, resulting in this is not an prevailing rates increase, resulting in lack of refinancing, in a lack of refinancing of the mortgage. So this diagram still holds, but now we have 0, 360, but interest rates have actually increased. It will not provide that incentive to investors or mortgagees to refinance the mortgage. So the option that they have is to extend the duration like that, because prevailing mortgage rates has increased. Now what happens is that you're supposed to be paying, say for example, the equivalent of 15,000 shillings. But now because prevailing interest rates have increased, now you're supposed to contribute 20,000 shillings. But if you do not have that difference in 5,000 shillings to try and increase in terms of your mortgage payments, I'm saying this, that you're supposed to pay 15,000 shillings like that every month for that duration like that, just for example. But now because prevailing mortgage rates have increased, you're supposed to pay, as a result of that, you're supposed to pay 20,000 like that. Now that increase in that resulting increase in interest rates, probably that individual may not have that amount of money to increase, so that you can be able to maintain that duration of 360 months. So the best option that HFCK or another company can be able to do is to try and extend the period. Yes, you still contribute the 15,000 shillings per month, but now over an extended period of time. So that extension is beneficial to companies such as HFCK, because you will tend to pay up much more in form of interest over the life of that mortgage like that. So those are the two types of prepayment risk that the examiner wanted us to answer.